There are three databases in the content page: courses, content ideas, and content pieces. The courses database helps you keep your ideas organized and track your progress as you build your course. The content ideas database helps you hold on to the best concepts for content and track which types of content you plan to use for each idea. And the content piece database allows you to track the production of the actual content. So let's start with the course builder. And as you can see, it's split into 8 stages here. So let's start with the idea generator. So here you can easily create a new course, module, or lesson. So let's create a new course and we'll call it, just for an example here. And we can open this up, create a new course here. So now you saw that disappeared here because we're filtering just for the sample course here. So I'm going to select the home strength program and unselect the course here. If you want to see all your courses, you can just uncheck this and see all your courses, modules, and lessons at the same time. But let's come back in here and we'll select the new course template. And so you can see a bunch of these populated. This field tells us which module this is a part of. And because this is a course, it's set to course. Lesson number, this is lesson number 0 of this module because it's not a real lesson. It's just to help us keep track of where the production of the course as a whole is. And then type, of course, this is a course because we set that here when we click the new page button in the course section versus the module and the lesson section. And you can see the different stages correspond to the 8 different sections that are in the main page of the course builder. And then any tags you want, you can add here. I don't know what's relevant to your business, and so these are just business related tags, but for something like home strength program, we'd probably want tags more relevant to fitness. But then we can come down here and create a course outline. Let's say I'm actually going to add a introduction here. Module 1 is going to be, and module 2 is going to be lower body. And then we're just going to delete the rest of these. So there's our course outline. We've listed out all of the modules that we're going to create. And now we'll fix this here. So instead of select, we're going to select home strength program. That's the course that we're working on. And now you can see it's still empty, but here we can add a module. And so this will be the introduction. Then we can open this page, we can select new module, and there it shows up out here as well. So this is module 0, and this is also lesson 0, and I'm going to get rid of this business tag. And everything here will also be in the idea stage because it's the course generator, and this is where you're creating everything. And you can do the same thing down here for lessons as well. So let's select our proper course here. The module is module 0. So let's create a new page and just call this welcome. Now we can open this inside peek as well. Click new lesson. It is module 0. It is lesson number 1. It's a lesson. It's in the idea stage. We're going to get rid of this tag. Now we can also add new modules and lessons right here in the generator as well. So let's do module 1 and module 2. This is a module, and this is going to be module 1. We're going to leave this as lesson 0. I'm going to get rid of this business tag. And now we can create a quick outline. Let's say lesson number 1 is going to be push-ups, and lesson number 2 is going to be pull-ups. And this module is only going to have 2 lessons. And now we can edit these filters, right? So we're looking at module 1 here, not module 0. And the course we're looking at is home strength program. Now we can add a new lesson here, or we can add a lesson over here. So we said the first one was going to be push-ups. Let's go ahead and just open that inside peek. This is a new lesson. This is going to be module 1. And this is going to be lesson 1. And we're going to get rid of this. And now you can see that each, the body of the lessons has a section for each stage of the process. So stage 1 is really just getting out all the ideas on paper. That's what the course generator is for, to create an outline for the course and an outline for each module. Stage 2 is about research. So you can add any reference material here that you'd use to create your course. I don't know what your course is about, so I didn't add anything here. I left it there for you to fill out. Stage 3 is where you can make an outline of your lesson. Stage 4 is where you would create slides or prepare demos or any of the visual aids that you plan to use for video lessons for your course. Stage 5 is where you would script if you wanted to flesh out the outline that you made in stage 3 anymore. Stage 5 is where you would do that. Stage 6 is where you would record, whether you're doing video recording, audio recording, screen recording, or even no recording. And then stage 7 is editing, and stage 8 is uploading. And each of these sections has a nice little checklist here. And this checklist populates in every lesson that you create. So anytime you use the lesson template, when you create a new entry in the database and you click the lesson template, all of these sections are going to pop up, and then you can edit individually from here. So let's make our last lesson here. And this is going to be lesson number 2. There we go. The other thing I do is I'll add an emoji here to the module, and then I'll add the same emoji to every lesson that's in that module. That way I know at a quick glance what module each lesson is part of. So the introduction, I would do something like, and lower body, we can, and this is going to be module 2. So now we have our course listed out. We've got an outline in here that shows us all the modules, and we have a list of these modules down below here so that we can jump right there pretty quickly. If I wanted to jump into upper body, I can do that very quickly and see the outline of this specific module. Let's see. Oh, that's the problem. Problem is we didn't set the proper module for the pull-ups lesson, but now that we've done that, then now we can see all the lessons listed out for this module right here in one place, and then we can even jump into the lessons right from here. This is a really easy way to create an outline for your course. And once you've outlined your course and made all the modules and lessons in the course generator, then you can move on to the research phase. So let's do that. And you can do that just by using the buttons here at the top of the page. And now that we come to our research center, we are going to want to select the course that we're working on. And now we can see all of the modules and lessons that we've created, whether they're in the idea, research, or outline stage. Now that I have my whole course outlined, I want to start working on module 1. I'm going to take the module and just move it over into the research phase. And then I'll do the same thing for the push-ups one. I'll open up this thing. I'll do my research. I'll paste any reference material that I'm using here for this course in here. And a lot of times I'll start building my outline at the same time. And then once I'm done with lesson 1, then I'll move on to lesson 2, move this over here. So once all the research is done for all the lessons in this module, then I'm going to take the module and move it over to the outline section. And then the process is the exact same here. If we come up here and we select our course, right? And then we can see that here's the upper body module is ready to be outlined. And I'm going to start with lesson 1. So I'm going to move it over here, open it, do my outline in this nice little drop down here. And then I'll move on to number 2, move this over. And once the whole module is done, then I'll take this and move on to number 4. And so each page is set up pretty similarly. I do have resources over here on the right side if you wanted to add those, and this template will be updated. So if I have resources to give you, they will be here. Make sure to adjust your filters on each page when you start working on a new course. And it continues here. So you can see that now we don't have any lessons here in any of these later categories, and so these are just empty. And we can go right back to the course builder with the same buttons here. So that is the course builder. Let's move on to the content generator. So as I mentioned, the content ideas helps you track where you've posted which concepts, and the content pieces help you track the production of that content. So you can come down to the content tracker here and click ideas, and let's create a new idea here. So let's just call it, say 10. To stay on the the same theme as our course here. I'm just gonna go with that. Maybe I had this idea while I was making the course, so right now it's probably in the course lesson section. But then I could turn it into a blog post, and I could turn that blog post into a video essay. And then maybe I could make a thread post with, each of the 10 variations getting its own tweet within the thread. And then I could create a shorter video or even multiple videos from this concept as well. Maybe I make 2 videos, 5 push-up variations for the chest and 5 for the triceps. And then I could turn each of those into an email for my email list. And then, I can turn those emails into text posts and post them on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And then, I could turn those posts into shorter videos as well. I could even do a short video for each of the 10 push-up variations. And then finally, the one-liner post, which is pretty much good for Twitter, although you can also post them on Instagram and Facebook as well, I guess. And then if I get some really good feedback on the content that I create from this idea, I may decide that I want to reuse it in the future. So I can come up here and select reuse. And then when I don't know what kind of content to create, I can come down here to the idea recycler, and this content idea is a part of this list. And so I can see all the content that's worked in the past that I can repurpose for future content. But for now, let's put this back in, let's say it's a thread post. And I set it up this way because that's the way my brain works. If you're someone who likes to start with a concept and add to it and build from it, then maybe you want to reverse the order here. I personally like to dump a lot of content and make it very comprehensive and dense, and then gradually reduce it into more bite-sized pieces. So that's why I've set it up this way. And if you're only focusing on video content, then you can hide the written content, or vice versa. If you're only focusing on a written content, then you can just ignore the video content. I made that easy to do down here in the written content and video content tabs. These are synced to the content pieces, not the content ideas. So now that we've got a content idea, these 10 push-ups, and we're gonna make this a thread post, let's create that content piece. So we can come up here to new content piece and say, right, and now I can open this up. And I've got a bunch of templates to choose from. And we decided this was going to be a thread, so we're going to click that. And each template comes with a little checklist, and it gives you a place to outline and some additional space for notes. So this is pretty cool. And this also now shows up in our written content dashboard here. And it's in the idea stage because we just created it from the new content. Now these phases work very similarly to the course generator that we just went over, basically moving from idea to research to outline to creating, whether this is writing the blog post or filming the video or what have you, editing, optimizing, and posting. And then if you want to repurpose that piece of content, you can use this reuse category. When we look at the fields here, we've got the content type. As you can see, there's a type for everything here. You've got your written and video content. The date created happens automatically when you select the template. The due date is when you want to be finished with this template, and the posting date is when you want to be posting it. So if you want it to be done beforehand versus finishing it right before you're about to post it, you can make that distinction. The stage, like I talked about, is very similar to the course generator. And then the posting flow, this is just kind of to help you keep track of where you've posted this content. So for video, this is pretty much includes everything with the exception of the blog post, but you can post videos pretty much anywhere, but you're not going to go and post like a blog post on YouTube. So the written flow and the video flow are slightly different because this is a written piece of content, because it's a thread, going to follow the written posting flow. And so I'll probably post it to my community first, and then post it to Twitter, and then post it to Facebook. And then once it's posted on Facebook, then it will be completed. So it'll be in this pre-post phase until the content is completed, and then it will be on the hub community phase until it's posted there. It'll be on the Twitter phase until it's posted there. You get the idea. Same goes for the video content, for the video content pieces. The content URL, I like to use the final resting place. It's home on the internet. So because this is a thread, I would probably use the Twitter URL here, even though it's going to be posted to my community first. I'll use the Twitter URL here because it's a thread post. The CTA URL, if you're going to call to action in your content, determine what link you're going to ask your audience to click on and put that here. This idea we can link to our 10 push-up variations content idea, and then we have our posting dates. So let's come up here and set a posting date, and let's just say it tomorrow, for example. And now you can see all our posting dates have updated automatically. We've got post to community is the exact same as the posting date. So any content you post, I like to post it to my community first. All of these other dates are based on the community posting date and what type of content it is. So because this is a thread post, we're going to post it on X 2 days after the community, and then we'll post it again on Facebook 2 days after that. And if you wanted to edit that, you can do that here. If you wanted to do it 3 days after, or 1 day after, or 14 days after, do whatever you want, but I have it set to 2 here. That's how you would change that. And then for the platforms that you aren't using for this type of content, I just had this date set to January 1st, 2035. Hopefully that's far enough out where it doesn't get in the way. If you're still using this dashboard in 2035, then you better write me a raving review. And then the last thing that you should know is if you do change this formula, it will change it for everything in this database, all of your content. So if you're going to just change it for one, I would just make a note down here, say, actually going to post this on Twitter on the 18th instead of the 17th. And now that we have all our posting dates, we can check out our calendars. So we can come down to the calendars here, click community, and let's click this week. And we can see all the community posts that we have lined up to post this week. So we can see that this one that we just made is set to be posted tomorrow. And then we can also check it out on the month scale as well. Again, this is the only one that I have in here, so it doesn't look that much different, but that's what it looks like. And then I know I'm going to post this thread on Twitter as well, so we can come down here to X/Twitter and click week. And it's not going to be on this week, but it is going to show up on next week. And you can scroll through as many weeks as you want and jump back to today, nice and easy peasy. Again, same thing here for the month. We can see everything at a glance, and this is based on the Twitter posting date as opposed to the community posting date. So hopefully this is all making sense. Hopefully this is an effective tool for you to not only create a lot of content, avoid running out of ideas. This content ideas database is going to help you take one idea and turn it into 20 pieces of content. And content pieces will help you keep track of creating all that content, because there's more content to create. You're going to need to keep track of it, and it helps you stick to a regular posting schedule. If you're posting content on multiple platforms, which you don't need to use all of these, I just included all of them so that no matter what you're posting on, it's probably on here. Some of the smaller ones I didn't include, but all the main platforms have been included here. So all you got to do is come in once a day, check each of your calendars, make sure you post what you're supposed to post, what you have said that you're going to post. That's pretty much it. Just come in and check each of these once. And that's about it. Now, these calendars are also linked elsewhere in the dashboard. So the email calendar is linked in the marketing page under the email marketing section. And so you can see your email ideas here and the email flow, similar to the written flow or video flow, but just for your email content. And you can also access all your organic content right here under the organic drop-down menu in the marketing page. And last but not least, your community content is also linked here in your community page as well. So you have what's due to be posted today, what's past due, what's due tomorrow, and then you can see the week and the month. And these interfaces are all linked, so if you change one thing on the community page, it will also update on the content page and the main dashboard page as well. So you don't have to worry about duplicated lists. It's wonderful.